Hello, I'm Susan Green, Associate Curator of Special Collections, Archives, and Research at the Philbrook Museum of Art, and I can't tell you how excited, how thrilled I am to get to visit virtually with Mary Beth Babcock, who is so amazing. She's entrepreneur, superstar, stellar person, genuine heart, and owner of Buck Adams Cosmic Curios. So Mary Beth, thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, Susan.
I'm so glad to see you. I wish I could give you a hug, a virtual hug.
I know. That's we can do it. And doing this today has made my heart swell. I'm super excited to be here and that you all invited me to be on. So thank you. And it makes anytime I see you, I can't help but smile. So this is a great way to start my day.
Well, thank you. You have made my day perfect already, and it's only the morning.
Exactly.
Exactly. You have done so much for Tulsa. You had dwelling spaces. You have Buck Adams Cosmic Curios. You support artists. You do so much, and we're so lucky to have you in Tulsa.
Oh, thank you so much. It's funny how life, as you get older, you look back and things start to make sense. And I tell people I was a cheerleader in high school from 7th grade until a senior in high school. And I'm just that cheering. It's in my life today. I love to cheer for what I personally love. So I'm the tattooed cheerleader. Woo! But I'm passionate. I'm very excited. And I love being in Tulsa. I would not want to be anywhere else. So I feel lucky that I'm surrounded by people like Philbrook. And anyway, I love Tulsa.
Well, we love you, and it comes across that you love Tulsa. You love Tulsa, you love musicians, you love artists, you love anything interesting and with a great story attached to it, and people. You love people, and it comes across.
Yes. Yes.
And we are so lucky that so we have this exhibition, Tulsa Treasures, and we put out a call for who might have collections. And you let us know that you have an amazing collection by Joe Andoe, who is a Tulsan. He is an artist. And I can share some images of your display in Tulsa Treasures. And so Joe Andoe now lives and works in New York, but he still has ties to Tulsa. Is that right?
Yes, correct. He comes back to town. I know his mother lives here. He has family, brothers that live here. And every now and then he's popped into Bucks a couple times. Yeah. And, one time I was here, the other time I wasn't, but he never lets you know ahead of time. He just pops in and I'm like, hey, but it was so cool. We had a conversation probably a year and a half ago out front of Bucks, just sitting out front. And, I love getting advice from him and hearing his vision, what he sees. And he was like, you got to camp this place up. You're on Route 66. And he gets it, it's when, from Chicago to LA, that is the excitement of Route 66. These, you're going and you don't see anything for a while and then boom, all of a sudden it's like a carnival. And so it was fun talking to him and getting, anytime I talk to him, I absorb what it is that we talk about. So my collection with Joe's work has gone back to dwelling spaces.
Dwelling spaces.
Yes.
And let me show our audience what Joe's artwork looks like. So this is, let me forward our image. This image is one of Philbrook's collection. So this is from, I think, 2001. So he's really known for these dreamy, ethereal landscapes, horses, wolves, buffalo, kind of this snippet of the Midwest, and probably from his memories of being in Tulsa. And so you get a little bit of a sense of the horses in a couple of the pieces that are in your collection.
Yes. So with this collection, I'll tell you about, so the piece that is, trying to think where to begin. Yeah. Okay. Because it all makes it, there's a story here. So I first got the books and, from Dwelling Spaces, was Leroy Chapman is who told me about Joe Andoe. And I reached out to Joe. I was going to New York to market, I was going to the toy and gift fair.
Yes.
And I reached out to Joe. I said, hey, I'm going to be in New York. And I hadn't met him yet. And he said, come by my studio. And of course, I was excited and nervous, all of it at the same time. So I get to this location. He's up on the 3rd floor. I'm going up these stairs and I'm just like, I'm about to meet this incredible artist. Go up. And it was just the coolest. It was like he had these lawn chairs up in his studio and, artwork hanging all around on the floor, the paint. And we just sat like we had known each other forever, and ended up going and having barbecue. And then he took me to an underground antique mall, and it was a magical experience. I ended up staying at the Chelsea Hotel. Had no idea. And I'm sitting in the lobby and, working on my computer. I look up, there's a Joe Andoe painting right in front of my face. And I'm just like, man,
it's all making sense. It's all together.
So naturally, I was like, he had a book that was coming out called Jubilee City. And naturally at my shop, I was like, well, I want to sell these books at the shop. So I ordered them, got some copies, and he started signing some. And the one there, it says, for Mary Beth. And that's a self-portrait of Joe in the shape of Oklahoma. So
with Mary Beth, scruffy beard and everything.
Yes, the Oklahoma kid, aka Joe Andoe. And if you know Joe, you can tell that's him. You look at it, it's like, man, that's him. So that was like, and that's a hardback copy. So I was so excited to get that.
Yeah.
So that, a prized piece. Okay, so then fast forward, I'm thinking, I love collaborating and brainstorming with artists. So he was coming to town, and this was when the Blue Dome Diner was open. And yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, so many memories.
Back in the day. So we said, let's meet up at the diner. So we go back and we go to the back room, that big back room. And I want to say at that time, I don't know, it was always packed. So we go back there and sit at this big round table. And we were just talking, really, no plan. And I said, would you ever be interested in doing a t-shirt? And he said, like what? Like what would be on it? And he gets his little notepad out of his pocket. He just starts sketching. And I was like, maybe, I think I may have said like a horse, maybe a horse. And so that framed piece right there, he gets his sketchbook out. He starts drawing. There's an ashtray sitting on the table. And there's ashes in this ashtray. He smudges his thumb in that ashtray and then puts it on that piece of paper. That gray face of the horse is from ashes from a cigarette. And it was just watching him do that was just like, and he was like, after he was done with it, he just kind of pushed it over to me, and he said, like this. And I was like, oh my God. And then, I didn't think he was going to give me that. Right. But then at the end of the breakfast, he said, here, take this. And like I said, I'm like, oh. So I go to Ziegler's, I think, and I find this fancy frame for it and everything. So that's the story behind that. So then that led to the t-shirt that you see. So when he was in town, there's a huge piece of his up at the BOK Center. Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember how big it is, but it's huge. Huge. And they claimed there's a day in Tulsa that is Joe Andoe Day. Really? And so, yes, he got one of the certificates. And so when he was here visiting his mom, he wanted to go get it framed. So he goes over in the Kendall Whittier neighborhood to Ziegler's and walks in with it. I guess leaves it for them. As he's walking out, he sees the Tulsa Girls Art School. Yes. And then he and his mother go into the art school. Matt Moffat was in there, and Matt tells Joe and his mother all about the school and what they do. And then after that, Joe's brain just started going, and he came back to me and said, I know what I want to do for the t-shirts. I want to paint 100 flower t-shirts, and I want them to be $100 each, and I want 100% of the money to go back to the Tulsa Girls Art School.
That's fantastic. So that was his idea.
That was his idea. And then, gosh, it was one of the coolest events that we have ever done. We hung, the ceilings were really high in dwelling spaces, and we hung rope all around the 2,000 square feet and hung 100 t-shirts up around, and each one of those shirts are numbered and signed by him as well. And so, yeah, it was such a cool deal. And so then Matt's students, the girls, they painted 100 flower paintings. So to go in coordination with the whole event, it was a huge success. And so that is where that shirt comes from. It says the Tulsa Girls Art School Freak Out. Is what it says on there. And it's kind of psychedelic design. But yeah, he painted all these in his studio in New York, and then shipped them all over.
It is freaking awesome, is what it is.
Right.
Freak Out is freaking awesome.
Yes.
And then Tulsa Girls Art School receives all of the profits, and it goes towards teaching the students, the girls. I mean, what a great collaboration.
Exactly. And it's so wild, looking back at things like this. I haven't talked about this in quite a while, but to, just how you plant a little seed, a little idea, and then to look back and see what it, the impact and what it did is just like, wow.
Amazing. I know.
So cool.
It is super cool. It is super cool. And you get to see like his hand, his expression, his love still of Tulsa. I mean, everything is sort of all in that t-shirt.
Yes. And yeah, the most, they all had a flower theme to them. So there were some very simple, beautiful ones, like a tulip, sunflowers. And, I see Lisa Reagan from Garden Diva. She was at the event. She wears hers every now and then, and I see her out. And that was something that, that Joe had said. He was like, I wish people would wear them, because a lot of people, because they were $100 each. And a lot of people want to frame them, have them on their wall. So yeah, occasionally for a special event, I might wear mine.
So if we see Mary Beth Babcock out in public wearing this shirt, we know there's something going on.
Oh, run. Be like, don't take my shirt. Well, and then that's another thing. We're going to get them back in, but Joe had an idea for a t-shirt here at Buck Adams. He was very simple. It was just, the reflecting shield of, the Route 66 shield, how it reflects, getting the reflective ink, and it just being very, very simple. It's been hard to pull off. We did one batch, and we have some adjustments to make to it to really do it right this next time. But so I'm always wanting to partner with Joe in any way that he would want to.
That's fantastic. Well, and let's show. So I have an image of your new venture. Well, not so new, but Buck Adams Cosmic Curio. So tell us where this is.
So we are on Route 66, the Mother Road in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we're very close to 11th and Peoria, for right by the Meadow Gold sign, the neon Meadow Gold sign. So our actual address, it's 1347 East 11th Street. So we are located in a 1950s Pemco gas station. And yeah, I was in a weird little place in my life where I was just a little frustrated. And I was like, one morning I literally woke up and I said, what do you want? Like, I knew that I could get, not get what I want, but I can achieve what it is. But I had to ask myself, what is it? And I wrote down in my little book, I said, I want to do retail, but something small. And 30 minutes later, that gas station got posted on Facebook.
No way.
And I swear, my heart just sunk, and I said, that's it. I met with the owners the next day, and we signed a lease probably 2-3 days later. And 2 years later, here we are, and we now have. So Buck back there, he is what they call a muffler man.
Okay.
And he's 21 feet tall with his hat. Typically they're 20 feet tall. There are a small amount that are 14 feet tall, but those were originally made in the 60s for gas stations, tire shops, to get people to come into their store. And I reached out to this guy, Joel Baker, with American Giants. He lives in Colorado. He collects these. He goes out to the fields, kind of like a picker, but he goes out to fields, finds these old muffler men and Uniroyal gals in fields that have been left to just disintegrate and left to die. And he will find out who owns them, get them, restore them, find a new home for them.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Joel, and we got to talking, and he gave me the time of day, had never met me. We talked on the phone for about an hour, and I said, I've got this shop on Route 66. And I was interested in finding a muffler man. And he said, well, I've got a Phillips 66 man in my collection. So originally he was going to loan me just on loan and have because Phillips 66 on Route 66, it just made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right. And then time went on, and then it hit him. He goes, wait a second. You need your own. He said, you need your own muffler man of Buck. So then he introduced me to Mark Klein of Enchanted Castle Studios in Natural Bridge, Virginia.
Okay.
And then, you stay. I'm going to show you.
Well, here, I'm going to make it so the screen is big again for everybody. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So now,
yes. Let's see if I can do this. Can you see that right there?
Yes.
So that's the original sketch that Mark Klein did of Buck.
Oh, that is awesome. And
right?
Mary Beth is right there.
A mini me.
Oh,
yes,
Mary Beth.
So he sent that back, and he said like this. And I said, yes, that's it. That is exactly. And there we go.
Yeah, perfect.
See, this is real life. This is real.
That's right. It's live. It's live.
This is not scripted. And yeah, so it came back, got a price. Chris Wallard, local artist, made Buck's rocket ship. So yeah, that was a big thing. I'm all about using local artists.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But this particular piece was very particular item. So that's why I went with Mark Klein. But Chris, gosh, the rocket ship is absolutely gorgeous. People will message like after a big storm, how's the rocket ship?
Yeah, did it go flying? Did it go into the stratosphere? Or is it dented? Yeah, Chris is an amazing sculptor, and his installation pieces are fantastic, and his art cars. He somebody else that thinks big. Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, that's the story behind Buck. And he even has a little story. Do you want to hear?
Yeah, I would love to. Absolutely.
Okay. So Buck Adam used to rodeo up and down Route 66 back in the 50s. And one day, a rocket ship pulled him up into space, and he had been zooming across Route 66, but from space.
And
he was looking down along Route 66, and he noticed it needed a little bit of help with revitalization.
Yes, it does.
He spotted this place in Tulsa on Route 66 and landed here a year ago to help revitalization.
I love it. And it was really just about a year ago, wasn't it?
Yes. We were going to have a big celebration May 9th. We had it all planned, and Joel from American Giants was coming. All sorts of people were coming. But so we just, we had a little birthday party for him, a small one. We got him a cupcake, and we think next year we'll just, double up.
Yeah, exactly. Double the pleasure. Yeah, a small party, a small cake, and then next year blow out.
Blow out are real. Yeah. Okay, and then so the neon. Obviously, Tulsa is offering the grant, the neon grant, the Tulsa Route 66 Commission neon grant. I applied for that, so businesses on Route 66 can apply for a grant to get up to $10,000 to go towards your neon sign. Yeah. And so let's see here. So obviously I needed a neon sign.
Yes, you absolutely do. You have backgrounds, you need a neon sign.
Exactly. And so we, I went around, I got a quote here, got a quote there, time. Sometimes you just need things to play out. Let the time direct you. And there was an exhibit downtown at the 108 Contemporary.
Yep.
And it was Todd Sanders with Roadhouse Relics. And he's out of Austin, Texas. And of course, when I saw that neon exhibit was up, I was like, I have to go to that. So went to that exhibit, met Todd, find out we have an incredible mutual friend, Jeff Pivoto, that lives in Austin, Texas, but's from Oklahoma. It's like that crazy Oklahoma connection.
Yes.
It's like it's everywhere you go. So Jeff was able to speak on behalf of me to Todd and say, she's not the crazy that she seems. She's a good kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We got to talking and I said, what would it take for you to design my neon? And we worked out a deal. So Todd Sanders designed this neon. And then I found a local company, Encino Signs, to make it. And they worked with Frederick Signs as well. And a gentleman named John Robertson called the Neon Scientist. And I got to go to his studio and watch one of the sixes actually be made. And it was, when you get, this, like when you get to go behind the scenes and actually see how the work, the time, the detail that goes into these things, a lot of people will drive right past and be like, oh, that's cool. But when you really know the background, it is a true piece of art.
It's like, it's art, it's engineering, it's science, because figuring out how to fabricate the gases, to get everything to work, and then to see it all happen with the pipes, and what a great opportunity, Mary Beth.
Oh my gosh, it was. And I have such a crazy collection of videos on my phone. I would love to figure out, some way to put all this together, make something of this so I can tell the story in a more of a visual way. I mean, you can listen, I'll tell you all day, but it'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to figure out, get it put together and be able to share that experience that I had with everybody else. But we flipped the switch. We had a virtual, again, we were going to have a big event, couldn't do that. So we had a virtual event on Facebook. And we had the Lieutenant Governor, Matt Pinnell, came out for it and had a little bit of live music playing. And I had a police officer as well, because I was like, I do not want to push the envelope here and step out of line with everything, all the things that are put in place. And so I think it was a success. Even we have a few glitches here and there, but it was,
that's honest.
Exactly. When you get me, you're going to get the heart on the sleeve. You're going to get it all. But I'm so excited now to share these things with Tulsa and with Route 66. It's like this, yes, it's a dream of my own, but it's for everybody to enjoy.
Well, I think that Route 66 is kind of the heart of Tulsa and sort of the heart of Oklahoma. And I think it is appropriate that who's one of our hearts, you are sort of a heart of Tulsa. So you're on, it's exactly where you need to be, is Route 66.
Yay.
Well, is there one other thing, if you were going to show us one other thing in the shop that's something that you have collected, what would it be? I know it's hard because you've got a ton of stuff in there. It is so much fun.
Goodness. Okay. So my mother passed away 10 years ago. It'll actually be 10 years ago next month. Oh. And my mom her style was colonial style. It was all very, prim, proper, everything matched. And, usually, and she was so thoughtful. The gifts that she would buy me were so thoughtful. She knew that I wanted a specific item. And it blew me away when she actually purchased it for me. And so I have it up in my shop, and it reminds me of her daily. It's like, you know, you just do when you lose someone that means so much to you.
Yes.
Getting a little choked up here. You just do your own thing to keep them with you. So what it is, are you ready for the big reveal?
I'm totally ready. Oh, the jackalope!
Yes. And like I said, that is so not what she would normally purchase. And so it makes me smile, and I get to share that story with people. They say, "Is that for sale?" No, this is kind of our little, not our mascot, but our, you know, our furry mascot. But yeah, we got so many fun things in here. We've got all of it. Okay, so yeah.
You do. And you have a jackalope from your Colonial Williamsburg loving, like, traditional mother.
Yes, exactly. And that, like I said, it meant so much, because I was like, she remembered me saying I wanted a jackalope, and she went out of her way
I know where you find I mean, she had to find a jackalope. That's the other thing. It's
not like Bigfoot. I mean, you really have to look.
Mary Beth, thank you so much. Thank you for loaning the small part of your Joe Andoe collection to Philbrook. We're going to hopefully open up later this summer so people can come in and see the objects. We would love to look at them with you so you can tell us the stories again in person, and so we can see the ashes on the paper.
Yes, so cool. So thank you. Thanks for letting me share this, you know, this stuff with you. It's like I said, it's you know, you can enjoy this stuff in your home, but how fun to share it with everybody else. Share what you love. So thanks for asking me, and I loved talking to you this morning.
I love it too. It's been, I think it'll be the best part of my day. Thank you, Mary Beth. Well, we love you, and we can't wait to see you like in person, and we'll do whatever is socially appropriate at that point, but we'll do a little dance or something.
Same. Big hug, virtual hug.